As far as your place here at WWR Plus, what do you look to achieve as a singles wrestler here? Because we know that you and Ashley Vox, the Sea Stars, have been such trailblazers in terms of tag team wrestling. But what about Delmi Exo, the singles wrestler?
Delmi Exo, the singles wrestler. It's funny because, I never thought that it was such an odd idea that I would be a singles wrestler anytime. I had to go out on my own for so long because I wasn't taken seriously and I wasn't put in matches as a singles around this area. And from then I drove up 10 hours one way to Canada. I drove out 10 hours one way to Pittsburgh, to Pennsylvania, through the trenches, just trying to get my reps in the ring. And I thought I proved that when I came back as a tag and I was more crisper and we won 3 tag titles. And it wasn't because Ashley was carrying me. It wasn't because she was dragging me along. You can't win 3 titles with a dead leg. And once Davey cut out that video and I saw what everyone thought of me, I didn't have a chip on my shoulder then. I do now. And now I have a point to prove now.
My brand of women's empowerment is just fighting up from underneath all the garbage, all the meanness, all the patriarchy of every wrestling show ever. It's fighting up and clawing my way, not only to a victory in my own matches, but to a victory on shows overall. Yes.
Okay.
It's not enough women. There's not enough women given a platform to show what they got. So every show I like to go out and show what little me and Kathleen can do.
You mentioned women wearing armor when they go into the ring, right? Gear is a form of armor, and this is yours. I know this is a women's show, but what is your hope for women's wrestling in general in terms of equality and representation here at WWR Plus and beyond, no pun intended?
I just want to fight everyone, and that includes men, women, non-binary, doesn't matter about the gender. So for me, we have to say women's wrestling because we need to make that space right now because there isn't equality in wrestling. We're trying, we're doing an amazing job of pushing it forward, but I would love to get to the point where we no longer need to call it women's wrestling. It's just wrestling. It's not intergender wrestling, it's just wrestling, and we're just here to show up and show out every single time, regardless of gender.
How are you feeling? Not only competing in intergender tag team wrestling here at WWR, but also as someone who does identify as non-binary, breaking barriers in your own right here in this industry.
Well, Sam, it's really cool to get to bring intergender wrestling and be the plus in WWR Plus because oftentimes it feels like being bisexual and non-binary, we kind of get pushed into one block or the other where it's either, all right, you're here in the straight block or the gay block. And I get to do LGBT shows and it's a lot of fun, but getting to take it to a stage like WWR Plus where not a lot of people have seen us before or Kings of the District, it's really fantastic just to bring my personality onto a new stage I've never been to before.
Well, what do you hope your lasting legacy will be here at WWR Plus? Do you want to verse more women? Do you want to verse more men? The opportunities are endless.
They are endless. A lot of people would say I bit off more than what I could chew, taking on Davey N, the #1 female wrestler in New England, without a doubt. But I went toe-to-toe with her. I'll say it. I'm a yarder. Started off in a barn, People are going to say that, and I get that. But I put in the work. People said, work on your footwork. I worked on my footwork. They said, oh, you're conditioning, work on your conditioning. I got told to slow down. People said, you're not flashy enough. There's nothing special about you. So I get flashier, I get a better move set, and then I get told to go back to my basics. And then when all that is said and done, when I become the perfect package that everyone wanted me to be, I get told that I came back from the barn. They bring up my past. Well, I just burned the barn down, all right? I don't care that I didn't come up to be your ace, but I damn well am now your joker card, and this is my game now.